All right, here we go. So, under our understanding of the world, when we're looking at everything in the world around us, all right, our understanding of the world is going to be based on a number of different things. So, when the ayah says, "Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq," all right, why did it actually start with "Iqra"? Read. Because your understanding of the world actually has a number of different things. You're either going to be understanding the world through your mind, or you're going to be understanding the world through your feelings, or you're going to be understanding the world from a different resource. All right? What is that other resource? So here's the thing, your mind can actually tell you about the world around you. I think we mentioned that earlier. Can tell you some things about the world, and you can do some speculations, some theory in what really is the world all about. But your understanding and the speculation and the theory in understanding the world can really get you in some kind of a delusion. You're not really sure. Is your mind really giving you the right information, or is that information really distorted somehow? The same thing when we're talking about feelings. When we're looking at feelings, our own feelings, they can give us some pieces of information about the world, what it tastes like. We know sadness, we know happy, we can feel different things in the world. Our feelings about the world can also be wrong. We can feel some pleasure, we can feel some pain. And usually we think of pain when we see pain and when we feel pain, we would usually think of pain as an evidence to prove that something is harmful. But guess what? Not all pain is necessarily a sign of something bad. If you would go to a neurologist and the neurologist starts probably putting a pin at your feet or whatever, and then they would tell you, "Do you feel it?" The last thing the neurologist would want to hear is, "I don't feel the touch." And then if you were to insert the needle inside and you say, "I don't feel it," that's not actually good news. That's the last news he would want to hear. Not always is pain a sign of something harmful. Pain can sometimes be good news that your body is functioning well. It's not just your body, but it's the life around you. The life around you can also give you some pain to tell you you're going the wrong direction. In other words, our feeling of pleasure or pain is not necessarily a good resource, or let me say a genuine resource, to tell you that this is a resource that we could depend on to know the truth about the world. Same thing with our mind. We can actually go in different theories, and at many times during our times today, during our times today, a lot of the different information or the different things that we're told to do, studies are sold to us. A study is laid forward in order to tell us that this is what the human mind had understood as the truth. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling you, not the mind and not the feelings are enough resource for you to know the truth about this world. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the ayat, "Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq," is telling you, well, the first resource that you really want to turn to is really al-wahy, is really your Lord Almighty. Because when you're looking at understanding the world actually preceded life. So here's the thing, what you know about life, all right, what you know about life is really limited. Your mind can understand how things function, but not necessarily more about why things function in that way, because that preceded life. Your feeling or your feelings can tell you about life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells you, اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق. Information is, here we go, it's called epistemology. Information really starts from knowing the purpose that started out life and it's outside of life. In other words, our understanding of life actually starts not from the feelings and not from the mind, but really from what started life, which is even outside of life. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, well, اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق. Us right there that when we're looking at life, you're looking at the one that created life, that preceded life, is actually what makes it is actually what makes something as the truth and the ultimate truth or a piece of the truth. So here, when the ayah is actually telling you, اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق, and then says خلق الإنسان من علق, it's telling you, and it's taking you all the way back to what even started before life. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling you, don't understand life from here. You don't begin in understanding life from here, but you begin in understanding life from here. You begin from what even came before life. To start understanding life from life itself is going in the wrong direction. You're starting from the wrong place. Let's start from here. To understand life, you begin from even before your own creation. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling you in Surah Al-Alaq, it's like, wait a minute, your information does not begin from life, but your information and your understanding about life actually starts before life. خلق الإنسان من علق, then it takes you, well, the one that created man from علق. In other words, your understanding about life, your information about yourself, and knowing the truth about yourself actually begins before you were even created from علق. From علق. An علق is actually, it is not telling you that you were somehow a leash. This was not telling you that you were a leash. It was telling you that you were in that shape at one point. In other words, truth is really outside of your own creation, and truth is not only outside of your own creation, but truth about life and the purpose about life preceded life itself. Preceded life itself. اقرأ وربك الأكرم. And that taught by the pen. In other words, your information about the world, yes, you can record some information about it. Yes, you can have some intellect to understand the world. علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم. And yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you, taught man what they didn't know. In other words, there are certain things and powers that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you to understand the things that relate to the world around you. Let's go back to the same exact world. And that's why علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم. You didn't know some things, and through the power of mind or slash intellect, and of course feelings, you were capable of knowing some things about the world. But that knowledge is limited, and that's why the truth of the matter is. So the word كلا is saying, but the truth of the matter is, إن الإنسان لا يطغى. Verily, man لا يطغى. Man لا يطغى. لا يطغى. The word طغى means to exceed the limit. لا يطغى, that man has the habit of exceeding the limit. Habit, or maybe the capacity of exceeding the limit. Exceeding the limit in what? Usually exceeding the limits in feelings, where they would exceed the limit and they would get off track. I want you guys to look at this. If you don't have a center to start from, you're going to wander about in so many different directions and you're going to get lost. And then having a center to start from will help you. Wherever you wander, you will come back to the main point. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us right there that when we're looking at understanding, and knowledge actually starts from the knowledge of the base. And the base is Allah Almighty. أرآه استغنى إن إلى ربك الرجعى أرأيت الذي ينهى أرآه استغنى. And this is the reality about man. When when they would live their life, they would just focus on the different surfaces of their life, and the different surfaces are really limited in their understanding of life. All right, so this is a this is a class that we're actually doing for uh, these teenage boys. And yep, so this is a different class, but I wanted to share this piece of information that we're actually talking about on Facebook Live. So we're going to be going off Facebook Live and we're going to be staying in